Hey there, SoonlyWeds. We are back with episode 5 of our vendor Q&A series, and today we are talking photographers and videographers. So let's go ahead and get started. Our first question to ask the photo and video experts is going to be, what style do you specialize in? Photo and video is so varied. Everybody has a really different approach, so this is super critical for you to understand, because to me it's really the most important question to ask them so that you can make sure that you really get the vibe that you are looking for. As we covered before, to me, no question is more crucial than asking a vendor to describe themselves, because then you get to hear verbatim from their mouth the kind of work that they specialize in, how they consider themselves as artists, and then how they vocalize their specific approach. It can just be such an insightful question that really will tell you more about what you can expect on your actual wedding day. So I love it. Also, when asking this question, also apply this to their day of presence as well. Ask them, like, are you a photographer that is like okay getting like up close and like disrupting guests, almost not disrupting but like being in front of guests so that you can get the moments that you're trying to capture? Or are you more of a laid-back photographer where you're just standing in the back, work around the guests and get the shots? What is your presence like on the day of? Because really that presence is a part of your style and it'll determine the approach of your photos. So don't be like shy or afraid to ask them. Just ask, what type of photographer or videographer would you say you are, and what's your preferred style? I promise it'll be super insightful about what you can expect. And if that doesn't get them started, ask them who their like favorite photographers are and who the inspiration behind their photos are, because that's again just a really good talking point to get them talking about these styles and shots and types of shooting that they really like and are drawn to. Can you shoot on film or digital? This is cool to know because a lot of couples, especially today, have really been wanting like the duality of being able to have digital files as well as having their like wedding documented on film, just because film is timeless. You look at it, it's a certain vibe and look that you just get from it, but you still might want those actual digital DSLR photos. Just ask them so that you can be comfortable in whatever medium that they work with, and again, just avoid any unexpected surprises that you might not have known were coming up. Especially if it's really important to you to get that film-like look in your photos, go ahead and ask to confirm that you are indeed speaking with the right type of photographer or videographer. What exactly is included in your packages? And this is huge to know when you're talking about something like photo and video, because honestly, there's a lot of things to be included in their packages. So this will tell you if you're going to get prints, albums, proof, raw footage, whether or not they do things such as an engagement photo shoot or like a honeymoon shoot, things like that, where it may possibly be included but you do not know, because honestly the inclusions vary on vendor to vendor. There is no one standard, so the more questions you ask, the more uncertainty we're eliminating. So basically we're asking this to find out what specifically we will be receiving from you, and basically what our return on investment is going to be. What am I going to get back in terms of memories, in terms of just takeaways for the day? Also ask how they will be delivered. Will they be given to me on a flash drive? Will they be given to me in terms of an album? If it's going to be a flash drive, how long is it going to be? Things of that nature. How many hours of coverage do we get, and what's the charge for overtime? This is important to know because if you guys do go over your allotted contracted hours, it's probably going to cost you a fair amount of money. Knowing how many hours you actually have your vendors for, it helps you to plan their day and yours as well. So if you have 6 hours of coverage, you know that you might need to get a little started earlier to be able to have them capture all the items and key events happening throughout your day that you want them to. And knowing this just really helps you build your day of timeline. It helps you coordinate with your venue and your wedding planner. There's so many benefits to this. Ask this question so that you can get a better idea of how you need to structure your specific celebration. Do you have a backup photographer who will cover for you if you're sick? This is important to know because a lot of times photography and videography companies are run by like 1 to 2 people and not necessarily a team of photographers, even though you do have like teams of photo and video. But in my personal experience, I've tended to work with smaller teams, and if one of those people on those smaller teams does get sick, it is a crucial thing. We need to know that you'll have someone who can come in for backup, who will shoot in a similar style, who understands the must-have shot list, who understands who is who in the family, and they've already been connected with the family liaison to make sure that all those important people are in the photos All those kind of little small minor details that you don't necessarily think of because you've already built that rapport with your photographer, videographer, whoever. You definitely want to make sure that all of that information that you've poured into them is going to then be delivered to someone else who is of equal quality, who can then deliver an equal standards as the person that you chose. So please go ahead and ask how that backup is going to work, and ask if you guys get a say in the backup. Like, it's your photos, it's very personal, and every photographer has a different approach. So if that, God forbid, is going to be an issue, please ask so that you're informed and you just have that bit of relief. Will there be a second shooter on site, and will you arrive with any assistance? A second shooter is basically a second person on the photo and video team who can kind of walk around the space, get some different shots so that the photographer doesn't have to try to be everywhere at once. That means that he can get, like, you're getting ready to shoot as well as your partners. They can capture different aspects of the reception. One person can be capturing ceremony details, some person could be doing cocktail details, all that extra stuff. But having those extra people usually does come at extra fees, but depending on the photographer or videographer that you're working with, certain packages do start automatically with second and third shooters. Go ahead to ask to see specifically what your options are. That way you can make the best decision for you. How do you coordinate with videographers, and how do you guys work together? This is important to know because this tells you how the two of them will coordinate, kind of stay out of each other's way, and also document your day in full. Certain moments are just simply going to be more powerful through video than they are through photo, because the photo will capture a moment in time, but a video will tell the story. And so something is just not enough to have photo for if you do have the option of having video there on site as well. And this is why it's so important to me that my clients have a must-have shot list for both photo and video, because there's just a difference in the vibe. And if you really want to look back and relive a specific moment, this is when it's key for them to know, and it'll also help them coordinate how they work together. So speaking of must-have shot lists, the next question is literally, will you follow a shot list, or do you prefer to have free reign to capture events as you see fit? And this is important to know because it really does vary from photographer to photographer, and the same for different videographers. Some will be like, yes, please give me a short list of stuff that you definitely want captured, moments that are extra special to you, things that you really want documented. But some will either not accept them, some will have a cap on the amount that you can give them, or some will just say, I would feel more comfortable just shooting as I see fit and capturing the moments as they happen without having to refer to a list. But depending on the type of person that you, or the type of people that you and your partner are, this may or may not work to you. If you're kind of more like type A, you really want to make sure that you have what you want, then you might be best looking for a different vendor who does understand what it is you're looking for and who is willing to take a bit more direction from you. But knowing that in the searching process rather than having them booked and finding that out later is way beneficial. So go ahead and access so that you can figure out what your really custom options are and how much wiggle room you really do have with your vendors. Now remember, even if they do accept must-have shot lists, you guys don't want to overwhelm them with hundreds and hundreds of requests. Remember that you hired them because you trust them. You hired them because you thought they were qualified. You hired them because you like their style. Trust it. Lean into it. Don't batter down their door with all these requests. Give them some direction. Explain to them what you like, what moments you would like captured, and then after that, it's literally up to you to trust them. Let them do their job. What kind of equipment do you use, and do you have backups? So this is important to know because depending on the equipment that your specific photographer or videographer uses will directly result in the quality of your photo and video. So knowing the equipment that they have, knowing that it is top of the line and that they do have backups just in case any issues do arise is definitely a peace of mind factor. That way you know that they have good equipment, nothing shall go wrong on the event. But if it does, they have something ready, charged, and backed up just in case, so that as your party continues, you guys are still able to document the moments that matter most to you and that nothing has fallen or slipped through the cracks just because their camera battery died and they didn't have a spare. How long after our wedding will the proofs and albums be available? So this is important to know because it varies from vendor to vendor. Depending on whether or not they do post-production editing, all that good stuff, it really can vary the amount of time that it takes for you to get your materials back. And because of this, you kind of do have to be a little bit more lenient. But being lenient is easier when you know the time frame that you can expect your things to be returned in. So asking this question early gives you more than enough of a heads up so that you know, hey, I won't have my photos back immediately after the wedding, but at that 3-month, that 4-month mark, I'll definitely have them back and can look over them. Stuff like that is appreciated and it takes the worry off of your plate. So just go ahead and ask so that you can schedule it into your wedding planner calendar and know when to expect those items back. Can we see some galleries of your most recent weddings? This is helpful because unlike an album or like a highlight reel, it allows you to see a full example and the full scope of what your photographer and your videographer edits really look like. You get to see every photo, how they capture all of the little details, and see if you can really evoke the vibe that comes through from the event in their photos and their video. So this is a perfect way to get like an accurate representation of what you will be expecting on the day of. Who owns the copyright to the final footage of either our wedding video or wedding photos? And this is important to ask if you guys would like to repost this stuff once you're done. You just got married, you spent thousands of dollars on your photography, thousands of dollars on your videography. You would most likely like to be able to reuse that footage as you see fit. But depending on who owns the rights to those photos and those videos, that is not always the case, and you guys could actually get in trouble in terms of copyright or potentially even fees for reposting them. So ask these questions early, again, so that you can make informed decisions. What agreement do you really want from us, and what would you prefer to have the final say on? This is good to know because at the end of the day, a photographer or videographer is an artist and they all fluctuate a little bit differently. So this helps you have an idea of the feedback that they like and the type of guidance that they work best with, as well as what you guys can really give to them and whether or not you're comfortable with the amount that they're asking for, whether that be you feel like it's too much, it's too little, whatever it may be. You having a better idea of what it is they were asking, how they would like it delivered to them, and then what your input could really be. Lastly, remember that your videographer and your photographers are artists, guys. There's always going to be a bit of themselves put into the work because yes, they are documenting your wedding day, but this is also a form of artistic expression for them. That's why it's so crucial to take the time to make sure that you find someone who truly fits your vision, what you have expected, and the vision that you have for your memories, because essentially that's what this is. You guys are going to be trusting these people to document some of your most precious memories, and when you want to remember and relive these moments, you're going to turn to these two things, your photos and your videos, to help you. Yes, you'll have your clothes and stuff, but to get the full emotion, it's going to be the photos and the videos. So really invest some time into making sure that you do the proper research and that you negotiate, that you ask the hard questions, because at the end of the day, it will only leave you in the better and you'll have a way better sense of who you're working with and the style of work that you can expect from them. And you guys will also develop a better relationship because now you'll know what's important to each one of you, and that'll just form a way better working relationship. And that is going to be it for today, guys. I hope that this was super informative to you. I hope that you guys had fun, that you learned a bunch more about hiring potential photographers and videographers, because that's going to be it for today's video. I am getting closer to launching my 12-month wedding planning course that will be available to you guys shortly. I don't want to give a date just yet because I still have some finalizing to do, but it should definitely be here quite soon. So again, if you guys have anything that you would like me to cover, any specific questions that you would like to ask that you think I may be able to help you with, drop it in the comments, guys. It's not too late. They can definitely still be answered. I'll get back to you guys for sure, and you never know, you might even end up getting a chapter in the course just to get your answer expanded on and all that good stuff. So please drop any feedback that you have, any questions, anything that you think might make a good topic for other brides or couples out there. Let me know and I will definitely consider it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you guys have an awesome week in planning, and I'll see you next time. That's really it, guys. Later. Bye.